that that much of a pious, loving person. We're talking about somebody who has some real blood on his hands, and this is the person that had the Bible that was the authorized version. So see where this is going? This is a control establishment, because this whole thing of the Spanish Inquisition was by Catholic monarchs. So we have a ritualistic ritual that's placed a God and that you're a sinner, not allowing you to realize that you have power, you have control, you have essence to contact, to be in connection with that creation force, that God force is part of you, like you're a part of nature. So it's controlling you to the facet of fear. Fear kinds of works for the weak-minded. Fear works really good. And to prove this, and we'll go into dimensions later on another topic, but to prove this, they know what's going on. The ones that are higher up know what's going on. And they know how to pull the strings to keep you in a set frequency, in a set thought. It's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. It's not just us waking up. To some parents, it's actually because of your children. Your children are going to schools, and probably these are the same schools that you went to. And your children are going to schools, and you're having trouble beyond belief. The school system, you're sitting there going, what is wrong with these courts? What is going on here? Logic is not going here. Logic's not going. You can't understand why the teachers aren't teaching. That's in the Catholic schools too. Can't understand. That's why in a lot of places, the consciousness awakening is requesting for massive reform. Massive reform of the education. Okay? So now we've got the ritualists, we got the hierarchies, we got what four groups are in. We're actually covering a lot because, like I said, I'm trying to get through this in the time that I have. But let's go one step farther. I just love to do this because it's kind of funny to me when you hear some of these old women swear up and down, then the Bible says to burn a witch. Well, I got news for you. I hate to tell you this. I hate to be the bearer of bad news and break up all your fun, but there's no such thing as witches. If you believe you are one, I think realistically you got some kind of psychotic wrong with you. If you look, and like I said, I like to take every ancient text because I like to get a wealth of knowledge. But if you look at the Bible, there is clips in there, in the New Testament especially, when it's stated that Yahshua, or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, said, what do you need that the land cannot provide? It's pretty good, right? Can we not grow our own food instead of going to Walmart? Yeah, we could. For the most part, the humans are lazy, but we could. So the herbs, like what Japan uses, that's why they outlive Americans. They use it all the time. Just because it comes from the land. We got chemicals in it now, which is screwing everything up, but that's beside the point. But back in 1692 and 1690, you had people that were more aware. Okay, they understood that. But because of religious factions, we had the Salem witch trials. 1878, you can read this in Wikipedia. And by the way, just so you know, Wikipedia is putting on a fundraiser. Let's try to keep that information up. And if you can, donate what you can, because information is golden. They used to say in Schoolhouse Rock, knowledge is power. Let's see if we can keep it going. But the Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft. This was in colonial Massachusetts. This was in the United States. Okay, between February of 1692 and I think it was May of 1693. So for about a little over a year. And these trials resulted in executions of 20 people. Most of them were women. Despite that they were generally known from everybody, and despite being generally known as the Salem witch trials, the preliminary hearings in 1692 went on, and they were in several towns and in provinces of the Massachusetts Bay. The Salem Village, there we go, being tongue-tied again. I think it's now Danvers, but it was in the Salem town. All these places. And I think it's called Danvers, and Dover, and I like to call Ipswich. But these were the most infamous trials, and they were conducted by the court of the Order and Terminator in 1692 in the Salem town. Okay? Still all religious. Heretics. Witchcraft. Place of fear. Control. So now we're seeing the complete rise of fear taking over. Okay? So if you're not going with the grain, they'll excommunicate you. Ooh. Wow. Okay. And you can tell that all religions are based on their one God. It's not the God of order, which is creation. It's not consciousness. It's not even Jesus. Well, his name was Joshua. Not even. It's money. Money is their God. Okay? It is the control factor of money. And to prove it, I was in Alhambra, California. I was going to Marguerite Elementary School, Alhambra High School. For 22 years, my dad was devout Catholic. We were forced to go. We had no choice. No choice. We had to go to church every Sunday. So, in the collection basket, my dad is given $5, and he gives each of us kids $1, which is 5, because there's me, Leah, Robert, Joey, so it's 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Now it's $10 a week. $10 a week going into the basket. $1 from each of us little kids, and 5 from him. So that's $10 a week. In the end of a year, that's $520. This went on for 22 years. That's $11,440. Do the math. Okay, so $11,440 is what my dad made sure was in the collection basket every Sunday. Well, something happened at the end of those 22. My dad got sick, got laid off. So he's like, we're short. I need a little help on food. So he sent me to the church that we've been going to. These people not only took a long time, made me sit there and try to make you feel bad, which I don't feel bad because, hey, how much did we give you? So I never felt bad about that. They couldn't do it to me. Like I said before on other broadcasts, I'm a Taurus, I'm stubborn. You can't control me. I came to you for help because we've been paying you this. At the end of all this waiting, at the end of all this disaster, this Catholic Church hands me a $10 voucher. We got a family of 7. What the hell is $10 gonna buy for a family of 7? $11,440 that we gave. We're asking for help. I wouldn't even gripe that they would have given me 40 or 100, even 50, even 30. $10. That's their God, their money. It's all they're in for. The control factor, as they put to control the weak mind, is they said tithings, and they always use the Bible. Like I said, The Bible's great for reading, for understanding basics. Because believe me, if you can get spiritual, you look at that in a different format. You don't look at it like a priest or a pastor interprets it. But they always tell you 15% of your earnings, this percent of your earnings, tidings, money. Now here's the funny part. For those of us people that actually read the Bible, it said that the church is supposed to get tidings from its congregation and turn around and give all those tidings back to the poor. We all know that's not what happens. We all know nowadays that there's some churches that actually go up on the pulpit and preach their bills. We need to pay this. We need more tidings. Not to quote, but I'm going to quote somebody because it makes sense. George Carlin said this in his act. He says it funnier. I'm not trying to be funny. I am just quoting. He said, religions take in billions of dollars every year. They pay none of the taxes. No taxes whatsoever. But they always seem to need a little more. End quote. This is part of the hierarchy, the control, to make you feel guilty. Guilt destroys people. It is one more thing that keeps the human species in line, and another thing that holds you back as a species. Progression. Rituals. True, not every church is as ritual as the Catholics, but it derives from the same book. You can take that book and you can make it very dangerous for the weak-minded. Like I said, there's only 4 types of people go to church. The first two are not even weak-minded. They're not even in the belief structure. The first one's already spiritual. That person, male or female, goes because loves to be with family. Loves to be with friends. And it's something to do. That's not a problem. Not even a weak-minded person. Even the person seeking. That person seeking may not be in that church. They're not even for that church. They're for themselves, which is what you're supposed to be. The third group, which is the weak-minded, that's where you got the teeter-totter. Because the weak-minded will only be violent or activists if the fourth group, which is the ones that just go there to compare clothing and to elevate their stature in society. That fourth group is dangerous in any church. This is the ritualistic. Think about it. Blood of Christ. Blood is the same ritual that the Queen of England uses, and these people have sacrificed blood. It's not holy at all. And always, I guess, because even when I was a kid, I got this real moron thing I do. It's called thinking. Most straight-A students, due to contrary belief, most, not all, but most straight-A students do not think. They memorize. They got great memorization. You give them a history book, they'll get that A on that test guaranteed. They have great memorization. They don't think. Now here's this moron thing I do. I could never understand every time I would go to church that on the Catholic Church, no matter where you go, there's always the Stations of the Cross. Killing. Murder is keeping you in that vibration frequency of murder, no matter how you look at it. If you really cared about Yahshua or whatever, take him off the freaking cross. Why you keep putting that out there? That's not the most important factor. But like I said, when they took out the books of the Bible they did not want, because there was a time when all the books were in the Bible until the Council of Nicaea, which is where the same Cabal hierarchy took over the religions. They decide which books go in. Well, I got news for you. I don't care if you're a theologist. I don't care if you call yourself